Environmental Day, 5th June. And this day itself, we will be also doing a launch of Professional Development Conference 2022 and launch of SSP GCC HSC Excellence Award. Myself, Safdar Ali Khan, as Secretary from ASSP Kuwait Chapter, welcome you to this wonderful event. The agenda is like this, that addressed by our President, American Society Kuwait Chapter, and then addressed by our Chairman. Then I will be briefing you the chapter activity, how we are managing this voluntary activity, and your participation makes a lot of difference to our activity itself. And your presence is a commitment that you are really moving towards to upliftment of this society as well as awareness. And then we will be having World Environmental Day, a student perspective by Miss Sai Hari Krishna Adibi. Then soft launch of membership orientation guide by Mr. Najas Abdul Kareem, head of membership committee. Significance of World Day and speaker introduction by head of HSC event committee. First presentation will be technical presentation 1, titled as Kuwait Environmental Remediation Program, Groundwater Risk Assessment for Tarcreet. Will be presented by Ms. Aisha Saleh Al-Barood, Senior Environmentalist with Oil Company. There will be another presentation titled as An Insight into MARPOL IMO Convention in Preventing Marine Pollution in KOC by Mr. Vijaya, Kumar Vijayanam, Environmental Engineer with Oil Company. And then we will be having launch of Professional Development Conference when our esteemed guest of honor will be here and other dignitary, and then launch of SSP GCC HSC Excellence Award, and then citation, and then followed by dinner. So now I will invite, though there is no emergency plan for this hotel itself. If there is something emergency is there, exits are here. We people are here to guide. This hotel staff is also here to guide us. So now I will invite President Mr. Jahid Thakur for his address to the today gathering. Mr. Jahid Thakur.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. It's been a privilege to have a physical address after a long time, almost 2.5 years. We had seen each other. On behalf of ASSP Kuwait Chapter, I would like to welcome all of you for today's event, World Environment Day commemoration. As we all know, World Environment Day is celebrated every year on 5th June. It is a day on which we spread awareness about the environment and the need to conserve it. And ASSP Kuwait Chapter is always in forefront in commemorating such event in the state of Kuwait since its inception, means from year 2000. The day is essential to advocate for a greener environment and the conservation of nature. It is quite simple, because when we conserve the environment today, future generation will be able to lead a healthier life. We cannot be so selfish and use up all the resource for ourselves. World Environment Day is the perfect opportunity to make people aware of the issues we are facing and how one can contribute to saving the environment. The theme of World Environment Day 2022 is Only One Earth. The Only One Earth theme focuses on living sustainably in harmony with nature. It will be a busy agenda tonight, as we have some eminent speakers from KOC to speak on environment topics, followed by launch of Professional Development Conference and GCC Excellence Award launch program also there. And we have a lovely student with us. We will listen our student also, World Environment Day perspective of student, and launch of, as our secretary told, launch of membership guide and recognition of our past president, Mr. Sunil Sadanand, for his recognition of Area Director Toastmasters and his achievements. Finally, some Environment Day quiz as an awareness session. I once again welcome you all for today's program. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President Jai Thakur, for emphasizing the World Environment Day theme, Only One Earth. The 2022 World Environment Day campaign is call for collective transformative action on global scale to celebrate, protect, and restore our planet. Now I will invite our chairman, Mr. Fadl Al Ali, for his address to audience today.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. It is my pleasure to be with you tonight for this important event, the Environment World Day, which we all know that it is very important. And for this occasion, we invited two speakers, specialists in this field from KOC, Engineer Aisha, Saleh, Al-Barood, and Engineer Kumar from KOC. They will be talking about important environment day and two important subjects related to the environment. In addition to that, after the presentation, we will have two important events that we will talk about. One of them, the BDC 11, Professional Development Conference 11 for the year 2022, which is patronized by Minister of Oil and sponsored by KBC and subsidiaries. And it will be in November 2022. Very important event. And the third event is the GCC HSC Excellence Award. This is for the Kuwait and Gulf area, and especially for private companies. We are doing it every year. Also, we will talk about it in this event. The three programs organized by three different groups. And this is the first time we are doing the three different groups in one event, one night. So I appreciate the effort done by the groups, and it is very much appreciated. Thank for everybody to organize this event. I hope you will benefit from tonight's subjects, and please feel free to ask any question, especially to the speakers of the tonight event about the environment, Engineer Aisha and Engineer Kumar. Ask any question. If you have any question, the yesterday earthquake, they are here. You can ask them also. So welcome again and enjoy it.
Thank you, Bu Muhammad, for very insightful message to the audience today related to Environmental Day itself. And we will be listening to our eminent speaker as we go along with the presentation. I will quickly run through the briefing of our chapter activity, what we are done through the last 3 months. So those who are new to our activity, they will be getting familiar what we are doing, how we are doing, and how you can be benefited, spread a word of our activity to the community itself, and oil and gas sectors, public works departments, and related contractors. This is a website of ASSP.org, what we are doing, how we are associated, what benefit you can take it with you. So ASSP.org for US website. And then these are some activity we have done recently, like Global OSA 501 General Safety Trainer course. On 23rd May to 27th May, where 10 participants got benefited by attending this program itself. This was very value addition training. We have planned for more training in near future itself. As you are aware that we are meeting every third of Wednesday each month, which is related with process safety technical meet, where one experienced speaker is coming and a newcomer is coming to present his expertise, whatever he has learned anew and add to the society itself. So this is a good platform where you can also associate and add value to it. It had held on 18th of May, where speaker Dr. Siva Prasad Penke and Mr. Dr. Hari Prasad has given a lecture, and 58 participants attended that. This is another process safety technical meet number 22, which is experience sharing in a fire incident during pre-commissioning on 22nd April, where speaker Venkata Madhusudan Rao and Muhammad Ranis, where there were 75 participants attended and got benefited by this. This was another webinar for SSP Global Operation Practice Specialty, Objectives and Advantages, which has held on 30th of March, where speaker Mr. Ashok Garlapati, Mr. Bala Siva, Srikant Adivi, and Mr. Sanjay Jaswal has led the team itself, and they have given insightful knowledge about how this practice specialty work and what advantage we can withdraw with from this, where 60 participants attended. There is another process safety meet, technical meet 21 on 16th of March, where speaker Najas and Mr. Surinder Vardhaman has given presentation. There are 60 participants attended that. There is another committee event by WISE Beach Cleanup Campaign on 12th of March. Venue was Masila Beach, where 50 plus participants attended to the society awareness campaign. And as you are aware that a part of leadership development for American Society Kuwait Chapter, we are having a SSP Kuwait Toastmaster Club, which meets 2nd and 4th of Saturday of each month. So it starts with 6:30 and it's 2-hour program. Those who are looking for opportunity to develop their leadership skill, they can be a part of this journey itself. These are some upcoming event plan. We will be having a process safety technical meet number 24 on 15th of June. And we have a plan for associate safety professional or certified safety professional preparatory workshop, which will be scheduled in month of June based on the input we have received it. And ISO 45001 2018 lead auditor course, it is also scheduled in June. And annual general body meeting for this term, and we will be having a new term which will be taking effect from 1st of July. So these are some upcoming events where you can be getting benefited on this. And this will be later on, we will be having a launch program when our guest of honor is around us. So this was a chapter brief activity. Now I will invite for World Environmental Day, a student perspective by Miss Sai Harisita Adivi of class 12. She is from Delhi Public School, Pahil. So we are not only industry experts we are inviting, we are also a part of the students which are our future generation itself. Let's see that what message the young dynamic Sai Harishita Adivi is sharing with us. Welcome.
We are all living in this wonderful God-created planet with beautiful flora and fauna, and sharing this environment with lovely creatures and intellect Homo sapiens who are likely to contribute in a positive way. Distinguished guests, ladies, gentlemen, and my dear friends, Salaam Alaikum, good evening, and Namaste. Many thanks to Jahid Uncle for giving me this opportunity and for his constant support and encouragement, and to the Executive Committee for giving me an opportunity to speak in such an important event. A few years ago, as a young student, when I saw my parents' activities towards environment, I could not understand everything properly. Over the years, through discipline and awareness that has been cultivated, showing a moral responsibility towards planet and environment, myself and my brothers have been discussing ideas with our parents. And these steps resulted into actions, and I certainly believe that every little deed matters. Thank you, ASSP Kuwait Chapter, for encouraging me in every step. Dear professionals, I'm not as educated as all of you. You are all professionals in this field and put significant efforts in your field. I'm slowly learning from each one of you and this beautiful environment of ours. We are all blessed to live in this environment with love and respect. There's no other planet or environment we could borrow. We have so many challenges such as the ozone layer depletion, deforestation, global warming, and many more that we are experiencing. I would like to quote our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji. Respect for nature is an integral part of our culture and has been passed across generations. It must be our duty to protect the environment so that the benefits could be passed to the future generations. Our World Environment Day, the global campaign is connecting with nature should be our own too. As a student, I certainly believe that environmental education is a crucial component for preparing the coming generations for the unique challenges on the way ahead. Through the following important events, if I recall, 6 takeaways from the Conference of Parties 26 that was held in Glasgow last year are Global Methane Pledge, Joint Agreements of Climate Change Tackling, Global Deforestation Pledge, Zero Emission Pledge, Coal Pledge, and Adaptation Finance. Taking inspiration from what Sadhguruji said, taking care of the environment is not an option. Our environment is our life. I have volunteered through participation in Safe Soil movement, which has been initiated by Sadhguruji, and I'm very sure that you all would agree that it is an important campaign to take part in. I sincerely request all of you here to consider volunteering yourself in joining such campaigns, if not done yet. As a school student, I sincerely request governments to come forward to implement stricter laws and regulations to ensure these promises are fulfilled. Also, I request schools and associations such as ASSP to conduct competitions for schools and call its students on how important HSP topics can be for in-depth knowledge. I would like to end my talk with these lines with the poem written by Robert Frost. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep, and the miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Thank you all for your time, and namaste.
Thank you, Harishita, for reminding the pledge what we are to do with our community wherever we are. In a very nice way, reminding the actual thing, what is happening and how it should be taken on. Now, I will invite for soft launch of member orientation guide by Mr. Najas Abdul Kareem, which will be helping to our new member and have a later. Okay, that's fine. We'll adjust it. Yeah. Okay. Now, for time management, I will just try to adjust something. Okay. Today we are having, I will take Najas later part of this. I will invite today to Miss Aisha Saleh Al-Barood for her presentation and brief introduction of today's speaker. She is senior environmentalist having 15 years of experience in the environmental field section. Started working in Kuwait Oil Company with Soil Remediation Group in 2012. Ms. Barood earned BSc in Chemical Engineering and Master degree in Chemical Engineering. Environmental field, Kuwait University. She presented 32 technical papers in environmental field, which includes soil remediation, air pollution, environmental software, unexploded ordnance risk assessment, ecological monitoring, regeneration, renewable energy, and groundwater pollution in several international conferences and journals. In addition, Ms. Barood was involved in several book publications. Moreover, she earned the honorary doctorate PhD in environmental engineering awarded by International Agency for a Standard and Rating. Additionally, Ms. Aisha obtained multiple awards within Kuwait Oil Company, including the first place winner of HSSE's CV Award and Best HSC Performer Award. Last but not least, Ms. Al-Barood was certified in NABOSH environmental management. So the big introduction is here, and I welcome Madam Aisha Saleh Al-Barood.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, better. I would have to take that. It's easy for me. Okay. Good evening to all of you. I would like first to thank my parents for their presence in this event. And I'm so glad to present very significant achievement in our Kuwait environmental remediation program. I don't know if all of you are aware about the soil remediation group in KOC. Well, soil remediation group, it is established in 2012. We are focusing on the remediation and rehabilitated the contamination area during the Gulf aware damages. We have huge damages, and I will explain it, inshallah, in my presentation. One of the most achievements done last year, it is the fresh groundwater risk assessment from Tarcreet material across North Kuwait and Sabria oil field within North Kuwait. My presentation will be massive information. So we will start with the Kuwait geological locations, then the introduction of the curve, followed by the risk-based approach. Then we will have the fresh groundwater resources. Then we have the impact. What is the meaning of the conceptual site model? And what is the meaning of contamination features? Then we will have the explanations about the exposure pathway flowchart, how we run this software. Then finally, we will have conclusion and recommendation. As you know, our state of Kuwait, it is the smallest area compared to the countries in terms of land area. our Kuwait area, it is mainly desert area, and it's located in northeast corner of Arabian. We have several islands in Kuwait, and the most largest island, it is Bobian, near to Iraq area. So now, after the Gulf War, after 30 years, before 30 years, we have Kuwaiti's oil damages and set on the fire, resulting in oil contamination of the land. The environmental damages and the spreading over the surface and penetrated the soil to verifying depth, forming oil lakes. Unfortunately, the oil lakes and the contamination features still exist in oil field in KOC in North Kuwait and West Kuwait. Approximately, we have 26 million meter cube of contaminations. And I'm so lucky that I am the member of this team under the Kuwait Environmental Remediation Program to handle this huge job with United Nations, and it is funded by United Nations, supervised by Kuwait National Focal Point, established in June 2006 by the Kuwait government. So the objective of this study, we did a huge study related to the Tarcreet and developed conceptual site model to check that the groundwater over the beneath the Tarcreet is not being affected from the Tarcreet features. And we have the parameters which is inputted in the conceptual site model to have the understanding if that affected to the land, fauna, flora, and the groundwater as well. So the introduction of this risk assessment started for the International Petroleum Industry Environmental Associations, established the guidelines. These guidelines contain the 4 or 5 stages, starting the conceptual site model. Then we have collected the data. After that, evaluate the data and how we close the action. The CSM model, there is so many data needs to have to input there. The landfill area, the fauna, the flora, the fresh water, the infiltrations, and so many other data and other characteristics. So as you see here, the contamination features. The contamination features, as per the claim, we have a 3 claim awarded to Kuwait, to KOC, because act from 6 claims. The other claims is awarded to Ministry of Electricity and Water, and the other claim awarded to the Public Authority of the Agriculture and Fishery. This contamination started with oil lakes, contaminated piles, dry oil lakes. There is a special plan as per the United Nations. We need to remediate it through various technologies of the TBH between 1 to 5 to 7%. However, there is a more than 10% TBH which transferred excavation and transported to the landfill. We have 2 existing landfill is being completed, one in North and one in South Kuwait. And recently, we did a huge achievement in 2021. We have awarded 5 mega projects to the 5 contractors to remediate around 13 million meter cube in North and South Kuwait. However, Tarcreet, we take it in our consideration to have the risk-based approach to check if there is a risk on that or not. Because as you know, we have limited time, limited funds, and limited budgets. So we need to consider that within this our program. Now, Tarcreets. What is the meaning of Tarcreet? It is solidified materials, reassembles asphalt thickness between 1 to 1.5 meter over 20 kilometers square from the groundwater. Tarcreet, we did a huge study in 2002, and they mentioned that within the time, they are decrease the degradations, natural weather, infiltrations of the the evaporation of volatile compound, and the infiltrations of the oil into the soil and mixing of the sand and dust within oil. After the 2 years, there is 70% degradations, but the remaining we cannot, it's still stable as a residue. Always I said to my engineers, how you to find, how you see that Tarcreet, it is like a chocolatey, crunchy, delicious, but it's not able to eat it because it's very thinner area when you are going to the site. So Tarcreet, seems like it's easy to touch it. However, it's difficult to treat it because it has a very high TBH. TBH, total petroleum hydrocarbon in the soil. Now, the fresh groundwater resources, we are focusing on North Kuwait, as I said in my presentation at the beginning. So the two fresh groundwater resources, as you see here in the red circle in Rothdane and Al-Aish, we have two resources, and the annual recharge to the entire aquifer system in Kuwait around 58.8 million cubic meter, which include the recharge from infiltrations, subsurface flow, and upward leakage from the Dammam aquifer. See in this map the water affluentations and the impact. This is a Rothdane aquifer. So if you could see the legend, we have there is a line, the blue line boxes showing the freshwater length. Then we have total catchment of a freshwater length, and there is some upstream catchment where surface drainage might flow across the Tarcreet. And we calculate that to make sure that what is the impact of the Tarcreet. It was 1.4 of the total drainage of that area. Similar to that, there is Al-Aish aquifer around the impacted 8.7% of the total drainage. Now, this is a very important model. Conceptual site model. As you know, we have a Tarcreet. The Tarcreet, it is the main resources to run this program. Or more than that, how I will run this program. There is 3 parameters. This is very important, which need to be a part of this model. Pathways. We have 4 pathways: the leaching and support, unsaturated zone support, groundwater, vertical migration, and horizontal migrations. We have receptors. These receptors, if you could see, there is a group, Kuwaiti group, and there is Hassa group. That means Dammam formations, and there is a Kuwait formation. So as you see here, there is so many numbers, but this is being studied and comprehensive with the BMC staff project management consultant from Canada and China and UK and Kuwait. So these to find and to understand it, it takes 1 year and 5 months to do it, especially because during Corona. So all these sources and pathways and receptors is taken care. So the single pollutant linkages. So we need to know now which linkages with these parameters and resources with the pathways and receptors it being affected. So we have the leaching from contaminations, the ground surface filtration during the overland flow and collection in Bala lakes, followed by vertical migration through the unsaturated zone. So the receptor groundwater within the fresh water length of the group aquifer. So if you could see here, I don't know that it's not working. I would like to show you the Tarcreet, then Wadi infiltrations, coming down the Bala Lake infiltrations, going down to the vertical migrations, then we will go to the fresh groundwater accumulation. This is the linkage that we saw in our study. So this is as a contamination concern. We did the COC, and within we compared with CABA regulation with the water quality targets from USA. And we found this. This is as a software, we just capture it from the software, and we would like to show you the chemicals that we taking care in our study. And this is as a Arabic model, which was used in the conceptual side model. This is the resources, and this is the transport, then the receptors. So we should to have all of these to complete the model. We did the model by two modes, forward mode and backward mode. The forward mode, we have these concentrations. However, how we predicted during the software. So we need to compare that there is a predicted and there is already a maximum concentration, which already captured during the site visits, the data. And the backward mode to generate the site-specific target level representing clean-up level of the soil sources at the site. So the conclusion, based on the quality risk approach study, we recognize that the significant unsaturated zone thickness, the unsaturated zone is in the axis of 15-meter thick, low mobility of hydrocarbon, and the further annotation provided by surface dilution. So based on these things and based on this study, alhamdulillah, so we did a huge study, and we recognize that the Tarcreet does not pose risk to the North Kuwait groundwater resources. So it doesn't matter if we keep it as it is and or leave it. So there is no warranted. Based on that conclusion, and we raised that to the United Nations team with Kuwait National Focal Point, that the Tarcreet, it doesn't matter if keep it or not, because there is no affected for the groundwater, especially in North Kuwait, because we did another study for Southeast Kuwait, but we've covered the human, the fauna and flora. So based on that, we saved 25 kilometers square, and we saved time, we saved cost, and we saved the budget for other activity. As you know, there is so many claims, 3 claims. Based on this claim, there is one of this claim related to the revegetation. This revegetation, we need a budget, and as per the original plan from the United Nations, we have to exhibit this Tarcreet and transport it. However, then we can just seedlings this area. Now we can have this area, keep it as it is, and we found another area to revegetate it. And actually now we are working for project revegetations where we capture like 42 kilometers square within Kuwait, a KOC oil field area. So we have a permanent area, and we will keep it for long term without any disturbing, because as you know, KOC, the scope of work is for operation and drilling, not for vegetation. So we have, alhamdulillah, a big discussion with other teams to have a huge area for the revegetation and to keep it for the long term. And as you see now, before you see the Kuwait now, the climate change and the dust, it's being terrible. Last 3 days, all the people, they have a problem now with their eyes because, and other, they have some issue with how they breathe properly. So we are trying to have the revegetations. We have it trying now. We will have the green belt revegetation within KOC and Burgan area. We're trying to have built more than 15 kilometers square in North Kuwait. So we are trying to do a good benefit to the Kuwait and to KOC within this type of projects. So, and now I reach to my slide to tell you, thank you for listening. And I hope you learned something from me related to the groundwater of the Kuwait Environmental Remediation Program. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Aisha Barood. I think audience will be having any question. Please hold your question. We will get back to you very soon. If you have any question, I can take 2 questions right now. And if you have more question, I can take later on. Any question on the presentation we discussed?
Even when I participated during the international conferences. Earlier, it's being with Kuwait University, with Japanese company and Kisser. So there is some political issues being there, then stop the project for 6-7 years. Then the Kuwait National Focal Point decided to transfer it to KOC. And then after the discussion with the CEO, they established this team to accelerate the running of this program. So that's why in 2013, we're trying our best to have 2 tender as per the recommendation of the United Nations, to have 2 landfills, to trying to exhibit and transport only the very heavily contaminated, which affected to the groundwater in north and the brackish water of in southeast Kuwait. So we are approximately 2.2 million meter cube being excavated, and now inshallah we will plan to have 30 million meter cube within 2024, and they give us inshallah 2029 to close this program by revegetation's activity, inshallah. So sometimes it is not being under KOC, there is some other entity need under their responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. As working in North Kuwait, I think some of the gentlemen know with that where I'm working. So I can certainly feel the activities that your team is putting your best efforts in handling such material. So as you rightly said, after the QRA, that is not going to affect the groundwater. And now that the huge amount of Tarcreet, right? And maybe the amount, the effect on the other areas like in Burgan, that result may vary. So what is the plan to handle such amount of huge amount of that Tarcreet?
We recognized, and if you could to see the flora and fauna there, and actually I went there and see how they are very nice environmental, even if it is if it is contaminated, but we will not touch it because there is no harm within. And there is another achievement done by this year, the procedure. We did an awareness and we established a procedure for handling and managing Tarcreet for the acid, how they are trying to exhibit and transport it safely during their projects. So we release these lands to the asset team within KOC, and we have a special procedure to deal with this type of contaminations. So we taking care later, because not everybody through operation team and other teams, how they handle if they have the location of Tarcreet to build up new projects. Thank you.
Sir, Saleh, thank you for your presentation. And if you have a further question, we will take it later. Now, moving forward for another technical presentation, I will invite Mr. Kumar Vijayanam, environmental engineer, for his topic and insight into MARPOL IMO convention in prevailing marine pollution. Introduction to the speaker. Mr. Kumar Vijayanam, he is graduate in civil engineering from NIT Patna, and he is master in environmental engineering IIT Roorkee. Career as environmental engineering professional in petrochemical industry, IPCL and RIL India. During career, he did post-diploma in industrial safety. For last 15 years, working with Kuwait Oil Company to establishment, implement, and maintain environmental management system ISO 14001 in export and marine assets. So I will hand over the podium to Mr. Kumar Vijayanam.
help me to put here. This will work. This will work. This will. And give me the slides. I can take this. Good evening, people. Assalamu alaikum. Gentlemen, he introduced me about me. Let me introduce why I am here. Ashok Garlapati came to know that being in export and marine, I used to train marine people for IMO, MARPOL, or QC fleet. So he told me, why not please share to people outside queues like ASP Forum. So my team leader, Mr. Ahmad Tawajad, asked me, go Kumar, share this information to others. So this is the background of me here. Now, can I switch to slides? Okay. So, gentlemen, QC has variety of business, and last chain of business is business process is exporting crude to through crude oil tankers to our clients. 2/3 of crude goes to outside Kuwait. 1/3 is consumed in Kuwait. 2/3 goes out of Kuwait. This activity of loading in tankers, big tankers, is done by export and marine group, and particularly marine group. They have a lot of fleet, and fleet has to comply IMO regulations. I am not able to focus on this. Then is my audio okay? Is my audio okay? Okay. I have time limitation also. So, gentlemen, I am giving this training to my marine crew, and Ashok came to know. So, thing is that training module I changed to public like you. Most of them are not related to marine business. May I know anybody from marine business? Anybody from marine field? Nobody. So my purpose is to make these slides very convenient to layman, particularly people who are working in business industry, but most of us are HSC professionals. So I will try to be very quick, don't go in deep, and understanding the issue. Our commitment starts from policy. Kuwait Oil Company, where is laser? Yes, Kuwait Oil Company is a subsidiary company of KPC. We have committed up through our chairman's commitment for health, safety, environment, and this is part of where commitment is for environment. If I blow up, what we is written by all of us, whether it is employee or chairman, we will prevent pollution and negative adverse impact from our operations having on the environment by reducing waste, emissions, and discharges, and use resource efficiency. Gentlemen, this is the background of our every activity and commitment to environment. This is a little bit brief about how we come to Marine Operation Group. Most of the people know KOC. Our business is like this. From gathering center, come to export tank farms in Amadi. And from there, we export or pump, transfer the crude to these big tankers. These tankers coming from either KOTC or our
international clients. And these small boats, which are called tugboats, they are the boats which bring these tankers to berth. Try to understand this, that when these big vessels come near our port, they switch off their engine. KOC pilot from marine operation will go over it, take command of this ship from the ship captain, and in liaison with 2 or 3 tugboats, this vessels is pushed to berth in piers or convoy or sea island. Then mooring, then hose connection and loading goes on. Then after that, it has to be deberthed and shifted to high sea. After that, they start their engine and go away. So this berthing is the main activity of marine operation. This picture shows you very simple operation, no, but sometimes this is sea currents, sea tide, wind make these tug operators, tug captains very difficult to berth. And gentlemen, our average activity is around 130 to 140 vessels per month, which includes KNPC and Kuwait vessels also, because KOC Marine Group not only service crude oil of KOC, also KNPC product loading, Kuwait product loading, and also in future KPIC. So 4 or 5 tankers every day it has to load. And if there is a gap because of weather, and if tug master are not doing this, they get fired from very top that you are blocking production of crude oil and shipment. So gentlemen, sometimes they get fired from very higher offices. The commander of this harbor master who controls movement of all these vessels. So this is the crucial role of marine operation. Now this is just brief of our activity. Now let us go to actual technical things. So our tugs are not tankers. Our tugs are 400, 500, 600 gross tonnage. So this is around 450 tugs. But they have very powerful willpower to shift these heavy tankers. That too when it is light, not loaded, and that too when it is loaded. So what pollution it will create? To air and water, nothing to land. So gentlemen, with burning of fuel, so something will pollute. Use of ODS, refrigerant, fire extinguisher based on ODS. 2C, garbage, grey water, sewage, that is black water, then bilge, that is oily water from machine area, then dirty waste oil, and there are 2 which is different color, because I will explain you later why they are different color. So these are the tentative major pollutions from air vessels which KOC operates. There are around 70 plus vessels KOC have. And now, since I am speaking only environment, so IMO has many regulations, but marine pollution is MARPOL. The full name is International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ships. It has 6 NSL, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And one thing to note down, that Arabian Gulf is a special area. The moment a special area tag means more stricter law by IMO in our Arabian Gulf. You can see all these Gulf area are a special area as per IMO. One of them is our Arabian Gulf. If you want to see little detail, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, all these up to this boundary is Ropme Sea area, which is a special area and applicable for Annexure 1 and Annexure 5, prohibited. This is a list of all IMO convention as on April 22. There are many on many topics, but environment are MARPOL 1 to 6, and few more is London also, London Convention for garbage disposal, then anti-fouling paint, ballast water, then Hong Kong Convention. These are basically for environment. Rest are for different purpose, like safety of life and sea, load line, tonnage, collision, safe container, fishing vessel. This is for seafarers, search and rescue. This is passenger vessel. This is satellite and communication. So these are for our MARPOL. Then this is for tariff. This is civil liability, This is fund generation for civility. So there are many. This is for passenger and luggage. This is another liability clause. This is SUA, suppression of unlawful act. If any boat does this, for that also there is a convention. So salvage, hazardous and noxious substance, bunkering, and these three we're going to speak little. Out of this, I just listed our ROPME countries added by Yemen, that Kuwait has ratified MARPOL. Okay. That is the clue that a technical presentation has become, when it goes to a layman presentation, it has to be slow. Sure, I will. Yes. So, gentlemen, and this is the list of all conventions which has a date of implementations. Hong Kong ship recycle is not yet ratified because only 17 countries are adopting it, equivalent to 30% of world tonnage. Now, out of 6 conventions of MARPOL, these 2 are not applicable to POC. We apply only IL, sewage, garbage, and ships. And now, if we go through this, they are too much in detail. I will just quickly say that in air pollution, one has to be keep oil filter equipment, 1 certificate, 1 survey, 1 certificate of IOPP. Then discharge of oily water from this unit is prohibited in sea ROPME area. In API, it is prohibited. No discharge allowed. This is air water separator, but has to be kept switched off by our all boats when they operate in Kuwait waters. And all bilge water has to be go to only shore in barges. And if you see this valve, overboard discharge valve is locked, chained, then locked, and label is there. Do not throw, do not open. Then another requirement is or record book. They have to record a record book. And if you see the record book, dirty oil is also recorded, bilge water is recorded. So records is one important aspect. Another is SOPEP, shipboard pollution emergency plan. SOPEP has to be there for each vessels, and they should have equipment list and other thing. Next, we are talking sewage. Sewage, one should have, all boats should have sewage treatment plant, including certification. So this sewage treatment plant, and sewage is prohibited. If through treatment, okay, otherwise prohibited. One of the certificate from sewage ISPP given to POC Mubal. I'm just displaying how does it look. This sewage treatment plant of old boat in which it is a small boat. This is chemical disposing. This is a new sewage treatment plant of a new boat in which this is chemical dosing facility. I'm just rushing through. This is the chemical. Again, the sewage record book is also mandatory for boats, and the captains maintain this recording, dispose, start, dispose, volume, everything. So gentlemen, we have done 2. Next is garbage. Garbage is defined, and garbage management plan is there, and in a special area, garbage disposal is prohibited. Nothing is allowed. Nothing is allowed, and boats should have placard, garbage management plan, garbage record book. So this is a record format, and this is what actually our tugboats are doing, our boats are doing. Captains are signing here, and fleet management controllers are signing here. This is garbage recycled within the boat. This is waste cooking oil, how we receive. This is the ROPME area notice by signed by all these 8 countries. Inside a special area, all garbage is prohibited. This is in Arabic. This is what displayed in the boat. Now air pollution. When we burn fuel, we mainly get these pollutants. For this, need to be IAP certificate. Engine should be as per requirement of this chart, so that NOx, you are controlling NOx. For sulfur control, fuel should have 0.5 and less for global area sulfur. And these are the sulfur control area. Incidentally, this Arabian Gulf is not still in control area. These are the technology for controlling NOx and SOx emission. Then this is bunker delivery. When we receive bunker, how we should receive. This is one example of POC Sahib. When they receive from KNPC, you just read sulfur 0.02%. So we get very good fuel. Then ozone Montreal protocol is embedded in MARPOL and they have to follow. Then crude oil tankers, you see this is the master vent, a masterizer. When crude oil loaded, this emits. So inert gases is come out, which has some amount of volatile organic compounds. And then energy efficiency, another chapter, which is mandatory for vessels to comply. So they should have plan, certificate. This is one example. This is plan. Then we have finished this MARPOL, another 2-3 minutes. So gentlemen, not only MARPOL is environmental regulations. In IMO, there are few more conventions for environment. One of them is anti-fouling. Simply understood that bottom hull, marine life get deposited. This disturb friction and lot more fuel consumption. To avoid this, technology has done that. People apply paint which will kill micro life to start. So started that by different technology, we come to know that when we started TBT, tributyltin, killing of biolife is very good. But they found that it is coming in food chain through life, small marine life to our fish and us, and it has the impact of genetic deformation. So MARPOL brought it, banned TBT. So to support this, we have how we comply. We use some paint which do not have TBT, and this is one certificate for anti-fouling, and you can read that Jotun Humam boat given paint which has copper and zinc, no TBT. Now come to blast water, very quick. Blast water simply understood by these 4 pictures. If you understood, during discharging of yellow crude, they take water of that area like Manila, Philippines, Manila, and balance this empty cargo by this ballast water. Then they come to Kuwait. Then they start loading crude. So this water has to be discharged to Kuwait Sea. Now, sometimes this microwaves is coming from Manila or here or any other country or any area. Sometimes they cause impact and it has economic loss. Fish kill, damage food web, fisheries, fish catch. And this is much the data of the Arabian Gulf, which is very important. So blast water convention came into picture, and what it wants that all tankers should have certificate, plan, record, and treatment system as per approved by IMO. And they could do only 2 things. They should exchange blast water in the high sea, or they should treat with discharging. And this is done by, this is how it is done. When they come to us, our harbor master, QC harbor master, they take this form signed by them, complying that I am complying this, which is part of auditable. So this is how we do. This is for applicable for tanker, not QC vessel, because QC vessel only operate within Kuwait territorial waters. And this is the measures, technical things you should not know. And blast water management, lot of things are written by IMO, how a plant should be structured, very detailed. And this is the last convention, which I'm going to speak. Still there are few more, but I'm speaking this. Ship recycling, gentlemen, ship recycling convention is not, Hong Kong convention is not ratified by Kuwait, but QC has adopted this. Why? Because once after 30 years, when our fleet will go for a scrap, there should be buyer, and when it goes to ship breaking yard, it could be safely and environmentally recycled. So it should have a material based on, as on today technology, good to health of worker who is breaking, health to person crew who is living with the boat 30 years, and safe to environment when it goes to landfill or scrap. So this is what it talks about. Don't read these things. I have just spoken how it is complied, what is required. And this is one certificate to Hong Kong Convention certificate, which we got for each boat, which is delivered now. So this is one certificate. These are the list which identify which material is in which compartment, how much quantity written there. So whoever buys, he has the data. So these are the things which is part of things. Gentlemen, please allow me to operate this message, small video. It talks about a group of people could be dangerous, but it could be environment friendly also. How? Let us see. If I work from here, I don't know. Yes. Group of people in dangerous structure, reassembly in flower pattern, background green, sound is bird, and you can make a difference.
مع تحيات شركة نفط الكويت ASSP.
I have one quiz because you have come, you have given attention, you reserve a prize. Only one prize as they allowed me. Only one prize. So I will take you to that quiz. If you are attentive, just enjoy the quiz. Of course, not for many people. Here it is. Something is wrong here in our record book. Something is wrong here. Can you pick up? Not a technical thing, just common presence of mind. Something is wrong in the record book. Pay attention, you will catch. Simple presence of mind. Very simple. You need not be a marine engineer. No signature? Not issue. No, that is not issue. 9? No, not issue. No. What item number? Item number? Okay. Very simple. Yes, hook pocket. The boy. You see, I don't know what he means. Actually, dirty oil and bilge should not have same code. I don't know what wisdom he picked up this answer, but he picked up. And may not be his correct, but he spilled the answer perfectly. So up to organizer, and he is correct. Gentlemen, it is common sense if you understand it. I told you during division, dirty oil and bilge. You are reading this also. But same code, how to? Correct? So thank you. You all.
Now, correct by this young gentleman, please come. Karthik by our today's speaker. It's an honor for his identifying the dots. Right. That's fine. A big round of applause. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I will take up this. Vijaya. Yeah, thank you.
We have honor that our Mr. Abdul Aziz Al-Duwaj, DCO Sports Services KNPC. He is guest of honor today here with us. And also along with him, Mr. Dr. Walid Al-Harbi, Acting Manager, HSC from KNPC. Now I will invite Dr. Abdul Aziz, Mr. Abdul Aziz Al-Duwaj, DCO, for launch of our PDC. You are welcome, sir. bringing the digital click. Yeah. Okay. Yes, sir. Please. Start. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. Let's start with that.
هيا تفضلوا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين. It's a great honor to be here, and I would like to thank the Kuwait chapter of American Society of Safety Professionals for inviting me for this event. I really feel that in our life, it has been omitted 3 years from our life by Corona time. And this time it was really very hard on us to live in silo and no communication and knowledge and no knowledge transfer, as we can see right now, how we are getting benefit from, from the great information and useful information that we are seeing. We have gone through an experience of a humankind experience called online. I'm sure you know what is online communication. we learn it the tough way, by force. It's not your choice. But we found out it's workable, but not efficient of communicating and knowledge transfer. I think the best knowledge transfer is to sit in these conferences and to have face-to-face and to have a flow of knowledge and communicating in body language. And I would like to thank you for giving us this opportunity to enrich our experience in safety. Safety, I don't want to talk about safety because you are professionals, but always I have little thing to note about safety. We always say safety, something that you have to learn, something you have to commit, something you have to practice. And honestly, my advice to you, since I'm non-safety origin, I'm coming from IT, but I'm now in the role of safety. For a good definition of a professional safety, you know what? Is to have the good safety practice, not at home, sorry, not at work, at home, at your house. This is the only indication that you are very professional. There was a statistics specifically said, I don't want to say 60, sometimes 60% of our safety engineers are very knowledgeable, very good practice, very good at work, but they are not good at home, which is really bad. That means we have to talk about something called safety is all about culture. It's about something that you believe in, not only something that you know or something that you work and you get money out of this. So being a professional, you have really to cover all these things in your practice at home, with your friends, at native home, at work, to practice the same essence of safety. Because safety at the end, saving lives, assets, and many other things. And I would like to thank you for this opportunity, and also would like to enrich more, Muhammad, and for more of this kind of lectures where we really get to know more about safety and best practices, especially in oil sector, specifically since we are there. One last lesson that I have really come to know, always safety engineers been associated in their work as being policemen. Okay, you have the authority to stop, you have the authority to do whatever thing, and everybody afraid of you. This thing, it's good for you, but it is also very dangerous. You have to practice it very well. And by being a police, in your organization, this really will do harm to the organization. Because I have a question for you. What is the role of safety in any organization? Anybody can tell me? As safety management or safety engineer, what is your role? Support the business. What else? What? Advice, being as advisor. Good. What else? I think the most important thing here is education, is how to educate your people in the organization, top management, of your role. Because if they don't know your role, things will be bad, especially when there is if there is an incident. If there is an incident, explosion, loss of lives, loss of assets, whom to blame? It's easy to focus on the safety. What is the safety? Okay, so this is something we need to understand. Safety is easy target. Why? Because unfortunately the management don't know your role. Your role is not a policeman to sit in front of every work permit or any work. It's not your job. But unfortunately, we lack of educating the top management, and that's why they focus on us and blame us and take really safety engineer in a very bad situation. So please, education is very important to yourself, education to your colleagues, and also to the management, not only on safety, on the role of you to be a supervisor and to have the best procedures, which is already known. And with that, I think we can have safe organization and best organization. And this will really conclude as being a professional safety. Thank you very much.
With this, we will proceed to the launch of PDC. Sir, press this button. Wonderful message from Mr. Abdul Aziz Alduways, which is a very takeaway message to this wonderful occasion itself. And we have launched that PDC 2022. Now I will also invite to join the podium along with Dr. Waleed Al-Harbi, Acting Manager, HSC. Our chairman, Mr. Fadel Aleli, Deputy Director, Mr. Jignesh Shah, Vasudevan Narayanan, Global Area Director, Sampath Reddy Sir, Area Director, Mr. Sunil Sadanan, Past President, Madam Saika Al-Fazam, Mr. Risi, and Mr. Jahid Thakur. Mr. Adibi Balakan Srikant, Sekhar and Mr. Munir Khan. Mr. Chari, Mr. Chari. Yeah, we were having another gentleman from American Business Council, Mr. Sam Jauhari. He was here as a board member, but he got some emergency call and he cannot make it. Officially, it's a launch of our PDC. Mr. Saud from AUM, please join us to the launch of this PDC 2022. Thanks, sir. Bear with us. We have another launch for ASSP GCC award, which is a patronage matter a lot. This is a launch of SSP GCC HSE Excellence, just to honor, just stay here, sir. We will be circulating all this pamphlet to them, to back to the contractor. And I also welcome all this contractor who is attending today, contractor representative for SSP GCC Excellence Award 2022. Thank you, sir. This is the official launch of SSP GCC HSE Excellence Award 2022. Spread the word of this message.
Yes, one second.
Just play the video. Thank you, sir. Now you can go back to your respective seat. Okay. Sir, sir, I will request Mr. Abdulaziz Duwais for a 1 minute near dais with our chairman for the soft launch of our new guide for membership orientation. This membership orientation guide for our new members. Okay. Yeah. It's paved the way for many SSP members itself, what it is all about, how they can get benefited and adding to the society. Yes, software will be sharing itself. Yeah. You can't work this. It's fine. It's fine. Thank you, sir.
Assalamu alaikum. As part of the World Environment Day, we are limited the copies, hard copies. So we have launched an innovative QR code for this one. It will be distributed by Mr. Sandosh to all the desks. So using the QR code scanner or reader, you can scan this QR code and you can download the PDF copy of this one. So we are limiting and we are preventing our environment from the limiting the resources of paper. And all the members will be received the soft copy of the membership guide from our chapter and also through the email also. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jas.
Now I will invite to recognize our new area direct elect for area 19, Mr. Dinesh Kumar Paul, Mr. Dinesh Kumar Paul. This is a requisition of our past president for new leadership role.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shabdar, for giving this opportunity. I am Dinesh Kumar Pal, President of ASSP Kuwait Toastmasters Club and Area 19 Director. Let me first acknowledge the dignitary in the House, Chairman, Mr. Fadel Alali, and other dignitary, current, future, incoming, ex-com members of the ASSP Kuwait Chapter. And one of the most respected person for me, DTM Kajetan Barreto, who is the mentor of the ASSP Kuwait Toastmasters Club, as well as my personal mentor. DTM Kajetan, can you wave from your seat? Thank you. American Society of Safety Professional and Toastmasters International, both are the non-profit organization. Both organizations world headquarters located in the USA. American Society of Safety Professional founded on 25th March 1911 and Toastmasters International 22nd October 1924. Toastmasters International help members to become more confident speakers, communicators, and leaders. ASSP help members to making the world a safer and healthier place. ASSP current membership, if I am not mistaken, it's 39,000 members in 80 countries around the world. And Toastmasters International membership exceed 300,000 in 15,800 clubs in 149 countries. Having said a Vietnamese proverb, when eating the fruit, remember the one who planted the tree. Today, I stand in front of you as a club president and an area director by contribution of ASSP Kuwait Chapter members. If I could say a few names, Senior Advisory Committee member, Ashok Garlapati, Sunil Sadanand, Ram Kumar Nachpalli, these all are the Toastmasters. I think Ashok Garlapati joined the Toastmasters in 2006, and he was the founder member of the South Kuwait Toastmasters Club. Billie Jean King, an American tennis player, said, "Create your legacy and pass the baton." We have a responsibility to carry the baton of leadership. My hope is to incite that feeling of inspiration in as many other Toastmasters as possible, to receive and pass along that baton to anyone willing to carry it further. It is my privilege and pleasure to pass the baton of Area 19 Director to a person who had the vast experience in the leadership role, none of other than, ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause to welcome my successor, Sunil Sadanand, as elect Area 19 Director for Toastmasters Club, term 2022 and 23. Best wishes, Toastmaster Sunil, and I hope you will take the ASSP Kuwait Toastmasters Club as well as Area 19 at a greater height.
Respected leaders, as Dinesh told, ASSP and Toastmasters, they have many things in common. And it was really a successful, and we are the only chapter among the entire chapters of ASSP in worldwide who have a Toastmasters Club And thanks to Mr. Vasudevan, who was our first president, who initiated and kickstarted. And Mr. Dinesh, who was one of the member. I just remember the same occasion where he just came to the stage and was not able to utter a word. And today you have heard a wonderful speech from him. And this is the transformation which are going to happen with Toastmasters. I request all of you to have the experience of this Toastmaster journey. We have meeting first and third Saturdays in the evening currently, which is happening online, which is very easy to see. And once you experience, you can have that feel. And I'm sure that most of you will come back to Toastmasters and have that experience continuing. As an area director, my role will be, I'll be having 4 clubs to take the lead them to have this distinguished level, which where Toastmasters is having a criteria for keeping a credential in each clubs. With that, I have a challenge, but I'm sure that I'm able to accomplish that with my support of my predecessor, Toastmaster Dinesh Kumar Pal. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Okay, I will invite our chairman to deliver this to certificate. Stay with us. Facilitate our speaker. Madam Saleh, today, Madam Aisha Saleh on dais. This is a small token of appreciation for your presentation along with Kumar Nand. Mr. Kumar. Since it is Environmental Day, we have some gift for you, who is today our guest of honor and dignitary. We will be hand overing this a small token, a plant to Mr. Abdul Aziz Al-Duwais and Mr. Dr. Walid Harbe. Yeah, yeah. The plant is indoor, yeah. This is something reinforcement. Yes, indoors. Thank you all for attending this wonderful evening, and I hope there was a strong takeaway message with you. I will go with vote of thanks and then we'll proceed for the dinner. Thank you for your time here today and making World Environmental Day a very informative, wonderful event itself. Though I have asked our second speaker to squeeze little time because of our guest of honor and other dignitaries having some other time engagement. Thank you for being with us tonight, and we thank to this hotel staff and our chapter admin staff, Mr. Risi, Reyaz, and Ramana, and the people who are behind the scene to make this wonderful event a very successful, and along with the PDC organizing team and SSP GCC Excellence. Now we can proceed to dinner in this hall. Thank you.